What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Take Time Out with Tre Mosley. I am your host, Tre Mosley, and the gentleman you see before you, you know, he and I, we have this love-hate. He thinks he can grill better than me, and he's wrong. Um,
Bruh. Bro,
you
here we
know, we
go. Here we go.
yeah, we out the gate, I'm coming for you, son.
I'm gonna give you grace
Um,
because it's your show, so I'm gonna give you all that and let you have it. Let you have it this time.
as you should. You know him, you love him. If you got TikTok, he is all over that piece. YouTube, Instagram. If you're not social, then you just don't know who this man is. But I will say there are some things that we may uncover that you don't know about the snack daddy himself, Mr. Stefan Johnson. Thank you very much for coming on the show, man.
Bro, I appreciate you. I appreciate the opportunity. It's gonna be a fun one.
Absolutely. So he hails from the great city of Cleveland, Ohio, city of champions. Well,
We did one recently. We
yeah,
did one recently, pretty recently. We almost kind of got to one a couple weeks ago, but then some life happened, you know what I mean? So, hey, here we are.
it's okay. But you know what? I have ties to Cleveland, so I
Yeah,
sympathize. I have family in Shaker Heights.
there you go.
My cousins went to Glenville.
Okay, so you're
My
ingrained in the
Yeah.
community in a way.
Matter of fact, my late cousin, their mother, she
Mhm.
taught at Glenville.
Ah,
So
okay.
yeah, I have ties there.
You're hip. You're hip.
And
I dig it.
and a few weeks ago, I interviewed another uh, gentleman who also is from Cleveland and went to Glenville.
Yeah.
So, um, matter of fact, when well, you're in town now, but
Yeah.
he has a. I know you're a foodie guy. He
Yes,
has a
sir.
food place there called Comfort CLE.
Oh, right.
Um,
Got you. I'm hip. Yes,
so
sir. Yes,
yeah,
sir.
go and check him out and get some good grub in your tub, man.
They're
Just
actually on the list. They're literally on the list on my phone.
that's what's up.
Yes, sir.
So, um, I want to talk. One of the things I want to talk about before we even get into the social media stuff and
Mhm.
and all of that. Um, Before voiceover was a thing,
Mhm.
you, sir, were and are a musician.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Yep. For about going on 15, 16 years. Yes, sir.
And if I'm not mistaken, you were in a Prince cover band.
I was. I was. Yes, sir.
Talk about that because I have been a fan of Prince forever.
Yeah.
And what was that whole experience like?
Well, I mean, it was the weirdest thing. I was still working a 9 to 5 at that time. I was at my desk and I get this Facebook message from a guy, Mike, and he's like, "Hey, I heard that you play bass. We'd love to have you audition for our band." And I'm like, out of the complete blue, I was not looking for a band. I had no ads out. I have no idea how he found me. He's been very vague about it, even once I joined the band. But I'm like, maybe. And he's like going down the list of like what the band does and the money they make and the travel. And I'm like, oh, so he's a serial killer. This is all a lie, right? So you know what I mean? So I Googled him. I Googled the LLC because they were running it like a business. They had a full LLC. I'm looking at videos. I'm like, oh, this is legit. So then I drive down to his house, which is like in the middle of the country. It's like some deliverance stuff. Driving down there, I'm like, oh, he actually is a serial killer. I'm about to die. But long story short, joined the band, did that for about 3 years, touring the country, playing Prince music. For all the feisty grandmas who love Prince, getting felt up by the senior citizens. You know what I mean? It was great. It was great, and getting paid to do it. It was it was a good time, bro. It was a good time.
So were you a band guy in school? How did you discover playing the bass?
Well, actually, I was a band guy, but not in like the traditional sense of a school band. Me and my friends, we were all into similar music. We were four black kids into like pop punk and like rock and metal and things like that. And we all kind of congregated together and realized that we were like the slim few of the community that were into this music. So we um, formed a pop punk band. Think like Green Day meets Fall Out Boy kind of a thing. And
Okay.
we did that for like maybe about 5 or 6 years before life happened. People started to have babies and get married. We disbanded, but I always just stayed in music, whether it's in gospel groups, whether it's in singing groups or wedding bands. I was just always into music after that.
That's pretty dope. Now, take us through. Well, actually, you know what? Before
Mm,
we do that,
yeah.
I mean, we got the stuff sitting here. Let's take a moment to venture down some of the nice footage that you were so gracious enough to send us. So, hey, producer guy, press that little button there and let the
I
magic
saw
happen.
Jordan the Stallion make a Brazilian lemonade that he called the best lemonade he ever had in his goddamn life. So you know what, bitch? I want to try to. Not you, Jordan. You're not a bitch. I'm saying. I'm calling the general public a bitch. So you split like these 4 limes by 8, right? Your knife skills are atrocious. Your mama's atrocious. So now I'm going to take these limes, put them in a blender, with the peels and all, apparently. Take a can of sweetened condensed milk. Damn, sweetened condensed milk is good. Cup of water, like a half cup of ice, and about a third cup of sugar. And then you blend it until smooth, I think. Then he said to strain it over ice. Fuck. This is a whole ass mess. All right, Brazilian lemonade. First sip. Let's see what we got. Goddamn! 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 I'm excited. It's like a mix between melted sherbet, a milkshake, and lemonade. Oh, the peel adds so much flavor. The creaminess from the condensed milk. Oh my God, this over ice cream? I know I got vanilla ice cream in here. I got Snoop Dogg cookie dough. Take a scoop of just ice cream. Dip it in that bit. Hold on. Y'all better try this.
Scott Pilgrim, Ramona Flowers, Matthew Patel, Wallace Wells, Lucas Lee, Stacy Pilgrim, and Seattle.
What do you mean there's no barbers?
King C. Gillette is here for you. Now, Cleo has been on big screens his entire life, but he can't depend on that baby face forever. He has facial hair now, and I'm gonna teach you how to tame it. Now, Cleo, if you do me a favor, look over to your right. You should see some tools. The transparent shave gel goes on. Tigers baseball on a beautiful day. The Tigers take aim at the Yankees Saturday at 12:30 on Bally Sports Detroit and the Bally Sports app. Rating your favorite chicken spots. Bojangles has a different kind of je ne sais quoi to their chickens. It's a great bite, perfectly crisp, and they got them luscious ass, crazy ass, buttery ass biscuits. Wingstop don't do a damn thing for me. The lemon pepper tastes like Fruit Loops. Consistent, terrible customer service no matter where I go. Motherfucker will smile for nothing. I can't get jiggy with them. Canes. Okay, here we go. It's not god-awful chicken, but it's not good chicken. They only season with salt and pepper. You can't tell me otherwise. And you don't put any work into your chicken. And you're gonna tell me you only have one side dish? No, 2 side dishes? It's gonna be a no for me, good buddy. Popeyes is one of the goats as far as the chain chicken goes, right? Is it the best? No, but the texture of their batter, that crispiness tickles your tongue like nobody else can tickle your tongue. And I respect it.
So,
I'm a complicated individual, and I'll just start with that.
you know, and I have on occasion feuded with you on a few of your choices.
You have.
I'm
You
like,
have.
what the hell? No, he's wrong. You were wrong. Um, so even before we get into that, so I know that you're a foodie now, and it's a part of your following and things like that. Were you always a foodie?
In a sense, one of the things that me and my friends have always like kind of just, bonded around was food. We all like worked at various food or hospitality establishments, and we would come to band practice or just to chill, bringing food. You know what I mean? It's almost like a potluck style. Whether it's me while I was working at Pizza Hut, bringing home like 5 pizzas, or like
Oh,
my
yeah.
buddy who worked at a movie theater, bringing home a literal garbage bag of popcorn, like a literal garbage bag of popcorn. Food was always just kind of that thing, and I always kind of thought about being a foodie content creator, and then things just kind of ended up happening. Yeah.
So how did the transition from music to voiceover happen? Because I also know you've done some on-screen stuff as well. So
Mhm.
were you acting on stage or in theater and then you transitioned to voiceover?
Well, I mean, a lot of the on-screen stuff happened by accident almost. Right place, right time kind of a thing through networking or whatnot. I have buddies locally who are into film and, gave me some opportunities. And then some big budget films ended up being filmed here with the Russo brothers, Marvel, things like that. Ended up on the set as an extra and then ended up getting upgraded because I have a certain look or the voice, of course. But as far as the transition from music to like VO and acting, it just became more of a thing where I was working these 9 to 5 jobs. Music had kind of disbanded and I had decent jobs. good money, good pay, great coworkers, great bosses, and things like that. But I wasn't happy. Long story short, found out that I wasn't happy because I wasn't doing anything I loved. Went to school for broadcasting way before that, but didn't take it seriously. And then decided to take it seriously almost eight 9 years ago. Then did the part-time thing for like 4 or 5 years, and then about 5 years ago reached a point where I was too busy to work the day job and had to take the plunge, and here we are today.
Yeah, man, that's always a scary transition when you get to a point where it's like, how do I tell my guaranteed every 2 weeks paycheck with benefits and PTO that,
Hmm.
hey, I'm gonna go do this other thing now. That
Hmm.
yeah, I'm getting a lot of work for it right now,
Hmm.
but I don't know if I'm gonna have a lot of work for it in 6 months. But
Hmm.
compared to what I'm getting paid here
Yep.
versus waiting for them 2 weeks, yeah,
Hmm.
your boy got to go see what's going down
Got to
over
do what you got
here.
to do. Yes, sir.
So yeah, so when you said I'm done and I'm not looking back,
Hmm.
what were you feeling at the moment that you took that plunge? Because you wasn't doing it just for you. You got a whole wife and things, and you
Yeah.
like, and I don't think you weren't married at the time, but
Not at the
still,
time.
you
Yeah,
you guys were together. And it's
we were
like,
together. Yeah.
babe, look,
Hmm.
this thing's starting to pop off.
Hmm.
At 9 to 5, it's all right, but yes,
Yeah.
like how did you break it to her and let her know that your boy about to do some things?
Well, I mean, it kind of all depended on her response because I was never going to put myself in a situation to put her in a bad situation, especially if
Right.
she was not comfortable with it. So I sat and talked with her and said, "Hey, I'm making this amount of money doing VO compared to this amount of money doing the 9 to 5, right? And I'm pretty confident that if I was able to devote 8, 10, 12 hours a day to VO, things could be very comfortable for us." And I my only reservation, I told her my only reservation was it's gig economy. Nothing's guaranteed.
Oh yeah.
And I just need to, hope that things work out. And she like almost cut me off and she said, "I got you. If things didn't work out, I got you." You know what I mean? 'Cause she was still working 9 to 5 or whatnot. And she basically said, "Take the plunge. We'll be all right." And I, put in my 2 weeks. And of course, I had long before that put some money away, paid down a little bit of my debt, just to kind of give myself a cushion in case some things went left. But then put in the 2 weeks and haven't had a reason to look back since.
Man, this is probably the second or third interview that I have had a guest come on, and when they spoke to their significant other, and I think if I'm not mistaken, all the guys they've all been men,
Mhm.
uh, that have said when they spoke to their significant other that they were like, "Look, go do this thing you love," um, and almost without hesitation. And I think it's refreshing because, um, coming from a culture where, as the man, you have to be that dude that is the provider, and by provision, by traditional means, working at 9 to 5 or in the military or whatever,
Mhm.
and doing what could be considered for people a niche job.
Yeah.
But it's like, it might be a niche job, but it's a pretty good, damn well-paying niche, and I'm about
Yeah.
to go hop on it.
Yeah.
I just thought it was refreshing to hear that you had a similar story like mine,
Hmm.
like my buddy Armand,
Hmm.
and a couple of other brothers that,
Hmm.
you had a good support system that allowed you to dream big and do big
Yes, sir.
because they saw the bigger picture. So,
Hmm.
shout out to sis for recognizing,
Absolutely.
what was out there, and boom, here you are.
Here we are.
Um, so with that,
Mhm.
you make the plunge and now you're full time. Um, was it what you expected, or did it exceed what you expected?
I'll say it exceeded what I expected because, I had a few long standing clients. And again, I just kind of knew that if I was able to go like, for lack of a better term, go balls deep into this career, I'd be pretty comfortable. And I just didn't realize that when you really get out there on the marketing side of things, how busy you can get. Because pretty early on, I was not turning down work, but I was finding it hard to schedule everything because I was saying yes to everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like big jobs, small jobs, or whatever it is. And I'd reached a point where I was like, coming into conflicts, trying to schedule and get all the work done, which is a good
Mhm.
problem to have. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
But me, I have time management issues just in life. So it was just like a thing where it exceeded my expectations, and I had to learn how to manage my time and manage my workflow.
Yeah, in this business, especially when things are going good, you will find yourself like, "Yeah, I can do this thing at 10:30. Oh, damn, I got the other thing at 10:30. And, alright, I can push it back to 1. Yeah, but you got a thing at 12:30. Oh,
Hmm.
damn." Mm. Again, like you said, good problems to have.
Yeah.
Um, so how did the whole and I think, what a lot of people are wondering, because you have voice actors that, they have a social media presence, but then you took it a step further, um, with your TikToks, because I have, folks on TikTok that their TikToks are mainly just about VO.
Hmm.
You decided, like you said, when you and your boys would get together and he's bringing popcorn and you bringing 8 pizzas and somebody else is bringing something, um, when did you make that decision? Like, all right, I got these social media platforms, and yeah, it's cool to talk about, hey, here's a promo I did, and I can show you how I did it,
Yeah.
versus, yeah, so I got Church's, Popeyes, Cane's, and Zaxby's, and I'm gonna tell you which one I think is the shit and which one I think is trash, and
Yeah.
debate your mama. So how did that come about?
Accident with the global pandemic that hit us about 3 or 4 years ago. I had a lot more time on my hands because I wasn't going out to karaoke with my boys. The VO work had slowed down quite a bit, because no films, no lot of commercials weren't really being, it's trickled down a bit. So I had some free
Yeah.
time. Um, and amidst my social media scrolling, I saw people on other platforms mentioning this TikTok thing. I wasn't on TikTok at the time, at the beginning of the pandemic, but people kept talking about it. Downloaded the app, made a few videos, and again, in that same vein of like voiceover stuff, maybe even some comedy voiceover stuff, some songs, some like parody covers and stuff like that. But then I made one video, just again thinking I was going to make my friends laugh, about my top five. What was it? It was either French fries or it was a top five breakfast sandwiches. One of the two. I forgot which was which. But made the video, went to sleep that next day, and then I realized I woke up to it having like 500,000 views, and I'm like, oh, okay. So made a follow up video, and then that one was the either the fry or the sandwich video, whichever one. And then that one reached almost 1 million views. I'm like, okay, we might have something here. So then I just started making more and more foodie content, and from there, it just became my niche, which kind of worked out because again, I'm a foodie, so worked out.
So how long, because of course with editing and all of that stuff, but for you,
Hmm.
when you're doing the actual video, and let's say, for example, because some of your videos, when you're doing a top 5,
Hmm.
it's like, "Here's my top 5, pizza places."
Hmm.
You don't actually have the pizza in front of you.
Hmm.
So those will probably make, uh, or take less time
Oh yeah,
to record and edit. But when
absolutely.
you're doing the ones like we saw in the clip where you're making the Brazilian lemonade,
Hmm.
uh, what kind of process is that? Because I'm sure, you know, you're doing a thing now, it's like, "Cut, let me go do this, cut, let me go do this," or do you just have one continuous video and then you go cut? Um,
Hmm.
especially for folks who are thinking,
Yeah,
I wanna try to, you know, use your TikTok blueprint, so to
no, for
speak,
sure.
and they have a thing that they, have a love for.
Hmm.
Like, talk to them about how the process goes, to even get that stuff out there.
Well, it depends on the video. Like my like cooking videos, and I use cooking very loosely there. Um, like the Brazilian lemonade video, that was a straight like shot because that took me like 5 minutes to record all in all. But then I do other content like I did. Actually, I'll be posting today. You'll be interested in fried ribs. Now
Hey, now.
that Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That was more of a cut, start, stop. That even like spanned 2 days because I did like my prep the day before, and then a lot of even the day of the actual cook, a lot of stop, start. You know what I mean? And then gathering your equipment, prepping your ingredients. Something like that can take you about 4 to 5 hours to shoot. You know.
Now, how do you balance um, your social media hat
Hmm.
versus your VO hat
Yeah.
and anything else in between?
I mean, it's a lot of multitasking, realizing when you have a free moment while doing this, go ahead and take care of that, like during that rib video. While you'll see in the video that I pre cooked the ribs before I fried them, at least one batch. During the 2 hours those ribs were cooking, I went downstairs, recorded some auditions, recorded some work, even like wrote some scripts for some other content here and there. When the 2 hours are up, got back upstairs, put the apron back on, started filming again. And it's a matter of just kind of just finding time just to do things, just to make the most out of any free time you have during the typical 9 to 5 hours, if that makes sense. You know what I
Yeah, absolutely.
mean?
I think it's important to talk about because um, you have folks that say, "Well, yeah, I can do what he does," but
Mhm,
they don't really understand that it can be a bit arduous because
mhm,
if you're wanting to make fresh content and then you still have this other job you have to do. In your case, with VO, you really have to learn how to divide and manage your time. And I think in the industry that we're in, it can sometimes force you to have good time management because
yeah,
if you got a session at this time
yeah,
and then another session at this time, you know, you may want to slack off in between, but it's like,
yeah,
I can't because I
yeah.
got this thing right after this thing.
Yes, sir.
So it gives you discipline, even
Yeah.
though I still have a problem with it myself, but this ain't about me. Um,
We all do. It never stops, bro.
it,
Never
it does
stops.
not stop.
Yes, sir.
Um, talk about the actual food itself.
Hmm.
Um, now that you have gotten the following that you have, um, I like to talk about perks of the job. Like for me, it's certain VO gigs that I've done,
Hmm.
more so with video games. You get perks on the job. They may send you a collectible or they may give you free downloads. But in your instance, with the social media stuff, do you get a lot of grub from these companies, especially if you kind of give them a plug and you may say to the other one, and then the other company goes, "Well, hey, we're not so bad. Try our stuff. We'll send you this too." Like,
Yeah.
are there food wars going on with brands and sponsors trying to get you to like their food? Like, hey, pick us, the pick
Yeah.
me's of the food world.
Yep, exactly. It's like both spectrums. If I give the thumbs up on something, like I a couple videos ago, I gave something hostess, like whatever it was, the thumbs up. I get a DM from hostess. Oh, hey, we really loved your video. What's your address? We'd like to send you a little gift. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Here's the address. And then on my doorstep, a week later is like 15 boxes of strawberry shortcakes or something like that,
Oh boy.
literally. And then on the other spectrum, I gave a thumbs down to Tasty Cake, that brand, whatever it was. I
Mm,
gave a thumbs down. Same exact thing happens. Oh, hey, I'm sorry you didn't like blah 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 blah. Maybe we can sway you. Do you mind if we send you a sample? I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. I'm thinking it's gonna be a box of something. They literally sent me 25 boxes of various different things with a note saying, have your pick, get back to us and tell us how you like it. You know what I mean? I had to give the stuff away to neighbors because there's no way I'm going to eat all of this stuff. You know what
no,
I mean?
sir.
But then, like, even on the local side of things, I get invited to like restaurant openings all the time. I get restaurants, established big names here locally that tell me to come in and have some food. You know what I mean? The majority of them not even expecting me to make a video. They probably maybe want me to, but they don't even ask me to make a video. They just say, hey, come eat. You know what I mean? On us.
Yeah,
And you know what I mean? And then I'll maybe take it upon myself to make a video. And then they're like, oh, next 5 meals are on us. You know what I mean? Just like little stuff like that. So yeah,
that's
perks.
crazy.
Yeah.
Have you ever been in a situation where maybe the review did not garner um a good rapport, like you just absolutely hated something and the brand was like, well, screw you, buddy, our stuff is good, we're not going to send you anything, we just, hey, it's good, and if you don't like it, then that's your problem.
Yeah, I mean, there's a relatively it's like a regional brand here. I'm not sure if you're hip to Swenson's.
The
Um,
ice cream?
no, it's a like a burger joint. They do
Oh,
like
okay.
they do like the cold car hop thing where people run to your
Oh,
car and take
okay.
your order and you
Gotcha.
eat in your car type of thing. Yeah, they're not amazing to me. But anyway, I mentioned it here and there, and then of course they'll respond here and there. I even did another interview a while ago, and I mentioned them in the interview because the reporter was a local guy. He asked me about them, and then they commented it under the video with their little remarks or whatever it is, and it's kind of like a little friendly beef, nothing visceral, you know what I mean? They're joking, I'm joking, whatever it is, but like, they respond. And I even had Arby's respond to me years ago on Twitter. I made a video and they tagged me in a couple of like videos of them cooking their food and things like that. So yeah, these brands they're active. They respond, especially if you give them the thumbs down.
Apparently, because
Yeah.
you know, brands like us,
Hmm.
we work through marketing. We have to put ourselves out there that, hey, this is our stuff. I
Yeah.
hope you like it. And if you do like it,
Yeah.
come back for more. Same thing
Hmm.
with them.
Yeah.
So I think it's interesting that you actually out here beefing with some of these brands. They're
Bro,
like,
it's hilarious. Like literally, like I'll have like Chips Ahoy. Everyone knows I hate Chips Ahoy, and like anytime I happen to mention them, they're literally in my comments. You know what I mean? With some kind of again friendly, smart remark. You know what I mean? And it's fun. You know what I mean? And it's fun to know that their marketing teams are aware of me. They know me. You know what I mean? It's pretty cool.
they get it.
Yeah.
How now? I know you said that when you get all these enormous boxes that you're
Hmm.
giving them away. I want to go back to the cooking aspect when
Hmm.
you're actually doing the cooking,
Yeah.
because I think people assume that you are cooking all this, just these enormous amounts of food. It's like, where is he putting it all? Um, and you're, as of late in the past year or so, you've been pretty active. I think you lost what, about 10, 15, 20 pounds. So I know when they see you eating this monstrosity of a hamburger, or you got a big old steak or fried ribs,
Hmm.
they're like, well, where does it all go? So talk about how, yes, I'm making these videos and I'm
Hmm.
eating good, but at the same time, I don't want you to think I'm just, some lethargic pig just over. Yeah, well, look what
Yeah.
I got.
I mean, it just boils down to moderation. I'll cook a whole ham. I mean, I did like a glazed honey ham like last Christmas season. We kept like one third of it, and then we split the rest between my house, my mom's house, and then my wife's mom's house. You know what I mean? I've made things and gave them away to my next door neighbors. I've cooked things and made things and given them away to charity and like the Cleveland Food Bank and things like that, along with like the excess things that people send me. Like every couple of months, I find my way to the Cleveland Food Bank to just drop off the excess because one, I don't want to eat all of this. I don't want to gorge and be a glutton rather.
Glad, yeah,
Glutton, yeah, and I'd rather people who can use it get some use out of it, whether it be my family or the less fortunate.
absolutely. Because I know, I cook a lot as well,
Hmm.
and they're like, man, just the 2 of y'all gonna eat all that? I'm like, not today."
Yeah.
You know, I come from a family, my mom freezes everything.
We just started doing that really because we've been really good lately because we weren't always that good. But like, if we make a big pot of whatever, stew, chili, something, we'll after 2 or 3 days, we'll portion it out into like baggies or receptacles and then freeze it. You know what I mean? We've been really good at that lately.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Shout out to, my mom, Miss Mosley, because, I learned at a young age,
Hmm.
she will take whatever, and if it's too much, and back then, pre-Ziploc, she just put it in a bowl and put some aluminum foil in it, and
Hmm.
I'm like, "Is that even safe?" But I'm still here, so I
We're
guess
gonna
it
get it
was.
done. It worked out.
Yeah. It's one of those things where I'm like, you know, growing up, a lot of things that you see, or at least I saw my parents do, I now do, and it still boggles the mind, like,
Yeah.
I'm getting old, man. What the hell? But
We become our parents, man. It's inevitable.
we do, we do.
Yeah.
What is it like being a voice actor in the Midwest? Because when you think voiceover, Cleveland does not come to mind, and with the exception of a certain guy named Dave Fenoy, who was also from
Yeah,
Cleveland, but
and he
then he
doesn't
moved.
and he doesn't claim Cleveland. I hate Dave gets on my nerves. He'll be like, "I'm from Cleveland, but I ain't from Cleveland." I'm like, "Bro, Dave, chill, bro." Like,
But you're able to thrive still being in the city, and you didn't
yeah,
have to go to New York, LA, or
yeah,
Chicago.
yeah.
So, as the new generation that was like, look, I can stay in the Midwest and thrive. What is how do you feel, and what is that like being right there in the middle of our country and still able to thrive the way you do?
Well, I mean, like, I feel like anyone who has any kind of hustle about them can make anything work wherever they are. Especially here in Cleveland. Cleveland is, I know people give Cleveland a bad rap, but it's a pretty big city with a lot going on. There's a lot of film, TV, commercials being filmed here, and of course, advertising in general for all of the businesses here. If you know how to talk to people, if you know how to market yourself, again, like, I am recording weekly for things here in Cleveland, whether it be radio, TV, industrial, a lot of industrial stuff here. I will say that because we have like three of the biggest hospitals in the country here locally. I think Cleveland Clinic is like the biggest hospital system in the country.
Yep.
Yeah, and then like again, a booming food scene, and not just from like my foodie content creation. I mean, like these people need commercials voice. You know what I mean? And then um, businesses downtown, and then on the outskirts, there's a lot of industrials being filmed for training videos, explainer videos. There's a lot of work here. You just got to hustle to find it.
And that's good to know. I think sometimes when folks are wanting to get into this business, sometimes they're getting misinformation.
Hmm.
Now, if you go back 20 or so years ago, then yeah, you had to be on either coast to at least get the type of work that they were seeking,
Hmm.
which was animation and games and stuff. But now that voiceover is so vast. It's
Hmm.
not just, hey, I do games, hey,
Hmm.
I do animation. You can be a commercial voice actor and do well. You
Hmm.
can be a audiobook narrator and do well.
Yeah.
Um, video games aren't being just made in LA anymore.
Right.
Anime,
Yeah.
if that's your thing, there's so many different avenues that you can turn down, and you don't have to be in those major cities.
Right.
So for you folks out there watching, you know, get you a good setup,
Hmm.
some coaching, and you know, make a name for yourself. You can do it anywhere.
Anywhere.
Trust and believe. So,
Yes, sir.
um, I want to get into a thing that has been on my mind for a while,
Okay.
and you've been challenging me a lot lately with this whole barbecue thing, man. Oh, you thought I forgot?
all in friendly competition, of
You
course, sir.
know, I even sent this man some stuff because I
And,
knew he was getting a grill,
and I
and
use that cutting board almost every damn week, sir. I got to thank you for that. That butcher paper comes in handy too, bro. You are a gentleman and a scholar, and I appreciate you.
so have you always had a passion for barbecue?
I've
Because
always
when
had,
you Well, I was
I've,
just gonna say because when
yeah.
you think barbecue,
Hmm.
it's usually the southern states,
Hmm.
and then when you think Midwest, it's Missouri,
Hmm.
maybe Oklahoma, and then in Texas. But you don't really hear about folks in the Ohio Valley. So talk about how it became a thing for you.
Well, I mean, it's because barbecue is one of my favorite types of food. Whether it be some pulled pork, whether it be a slab of ribs, whether it be some smoked or grilled chicken, it's one of my favorites, and it always has been. Now, I grew up in an apartment building, and we obviously couldn't have a grill in our apartment building, right? So growing up, I always just wanted a grill because I loved the food, but I didn't want to have to depend on someone else to make it. Didn't want to have to pay those prices. Didn't want to have to leave my house to get it.
Yeah.
So the second we moved into a house, the house we were at before we were here, um, first thing I did, literally, I think within that same day of moving in, I went down to Home Depot and bought a char griller, right? And from there, it's like literally, I've been in blizzard conditions smoking meat because it's just something that I've always wanted to do. And it's kind of liberating to be able to say, you know what, I'm gonna smoke me a pork butt today. just because I have the capabilities, just because I can, you know, and it just kind of has always been kind of a thing since then.
I remember the first time I moved away on my own and I had my own place. I too had an apartment, but I actually had a balcony.
Mm,
And living in DC in the snow,
hmm.
everybody's freaking out because oh the power's off and we can't eat. Your boy was on the second floor with some, with some T-bones
There you go.
and I had buttered these potatoes and wrapped them in foil
Hmm.
and put them on the grill and like you can hear people like, "Do you guys smell that?" I'm like, "Smell what? What y'all talking about?" I'm up here doing it. I didn't care if it was 9 inches of snow on the ground
Bro, I'm
because it's warm
saying.
in my heart right now. It's all good. I don't know
There's a
what
will,
y'all
there's a
talking about.
way. I'm gonna smoke
You
some
better
weed. I'm gonna smoke something. You know what I mean?
yeah, I'm like Denzel. I'm leaving with something. So you gotta go from there.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
so you've been able to parlay
Mhm,
a lot of the, attention that you get, uh, in social media to, like you said, a lot of things on camera
mhm,
and voice, over roles as well.
mhm,
Um, for someone who is a novice in the social media marketing aspect,
mhm.
what's some tips that you can give them to kinda make their presence known, to get themselves out there, so that they too can, again, like I said, follow your blueprint of what makes things work?
It's a lot of experimentation. Um, a lot of the times you'll fall into a niche. Again, I kind of fell in to the foodie side of things. If you have any kind of interest, any kind of talking point that you know you can talk about with passion, put it out there. Make some content on it. I don't care if it's sports. I don't care if it's movies. I don't care if it's politics. Be careful with politics. But whatever you have, you know what I mean, bro? But if you have a passion, um, get out there and talk about it because any opinion is going to solicit someone else's opinion. And whether they give you a thumbs up or thumbs down, it's going to create a conversation on that post. And then the algorithm is going to start. And then before you know it, you might have a video that has a couple hundred views or a couple thousand views. And, you can always pivot that if you take off for whatever that niche is, sports, food, politics, and bring it back to like the end game goal. Like me, I get a lot of voiceover work from my food videos because I'm talking. I'm using the instrument. Whenever I am on screen, I turn on the instrument. So people get the gist. Oh, he has a good voice. Do a little bit of research about me. Oh, he's a voice actor too. Oh, well, I just happen to run this business and I need a commercial. Let me email him effortlessly. You know what I mean? I was talking about cakes and cookies, and here I am recording a regional commercial spot. You know what I mean? You put yourself out there because a lot of times people can be the most talented people in the world, but just if no one knows you're talented, how's that going to help you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just put something out there. You know?
Now, what I also find interesting is for the work and the stuff that you do and the opportunities that you have.
Mhm.
Um, and a lot of people may not know this, but you're very close to yourself guy. You're an introvert that just happens to work in an extroverted society.
Yep.
So talk about that because I remember when we were at VO Atlanta
Hmm.
and you were kind of like, hey, so who's that over there? Because I don't want to be a dick and be like, hey, how are you? And I don't know who they are. And you were serious because you're out and about and everybody's coming at you like, hey, this Stefan. You're like, hey, what's going on? Like, who's that? And so give me that dynamic of how you're able to and have you gotten better at it? I know, um, I'm kinda in the middle.
I dig it.
I'm an extroverted introvert because
I dig
there's
it.
certain places I don't mind going out, "Hey, oh, that's
Yeah.
Trey. What's going on? How you doing?" Then in
Mhm.
some cases, I'm like, "Yeah, don't tell them I'm here."
Yeah,
And it's not
man.
because I'm being mean, but I
Yeah.
maybe just want time to myself.
No, for sure.
But so how do you handle the success,
Mhm.
but it's kinda like, not right now."
Yeah. I mean, it's just about being open and honest. Like, I mean, I just let as many people know that I am weird and introverted as possible. Because it's like I feel like if people just know that I am how I am, that in my head, they can't take anything personally if I I just happen to miss their handshake or I don't remember their name. Like you've been followed, me and you've been linked up for long enough. You know, anytime I have some kind of speaking event, I do my little disclaimer post weeks ahead of time, like, hey guys, I'm gonna be at this event. Please don't feel bad if I don't recognize you or if I don't remember your face or name because I'm terrible with faces and names. Like
Right.
clockwork. Like literally, it's almost time for me to do another one because I got something coming up in April. But it's like, I just am open and honest. Like, hey, I'm not Mr. Cool, I'm not Mr. Suave. No, I'm a nerd and I'm awkward. So if you come up to me, expect a nerdy, awkward guy who may forget your name. It's not personal, but I'm just terrible. I'm the worst. So I just let people know I'm the worst.
See, guys, he's human. It's
I'm human.
okay. He may shake your hand on Tuesday and forget who you are on Friday, but don't fault
Exactly.
him for that. Man
Exactly.
got things he doing. He ain't
That
got
will
time to be
happen.
worrying about who you are, and then he's like, "Yeah, so
Hmm.
where we meet again?" So
Exactly.
don't do that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about um. So with everything that you're doing,
Mhm.
and doors are opening and opportunities are coming your way, and it's not just because they're falling into your lap. You've worked to get to this point.
Yeah.
Is there something you haven't done yet that when that call or email or knock on the door comes and you're just like, okay,
Hmm.
you all may think I made it, but
Hmm.
now that this thing has happened,
Yeah.
oh, your boy has made it. So what would be, and not
Mhm.
necessarily a dream job, but just
Mhm.
a dream scenario, if you
No,
will.
got you, of course. I mean, one thing is again, I'm a big Marvel nerd. You probably see my Captain America shield right there.
Have the
Um,
same
yes, sir. Yes, sir. I would love to do something with Marvel, whether it's voicing something for one of their animated series or voicing something like live or being on screen. God, that something like that happened, or maybe voicing one of their trailers, which actually leads me to my second one would be movie trailers have been the one thing that have been kind of you know within reach at a lot of times, but just never quite in the palm of my hand. And it's, you know, kind of bittersweet because again, I've done almost everything else I want to do on the VO side of things, but those movie trailers have been again right at the tip of my fingernail oftentimes, but they tend to go a different direction or they get one of the guys that we are doing a lot of the work right now, which is great. But I still want to be in there somehow.
Yeah, man. I think that's dope. So Marvel, if y'all watching, just give your boy a shot.
Please.
Let him be Kang in one of the
I could do a mean conqueror. I could do a mean ass conqueror. I'll tell you. I'll just be a variant. Even if I'm just a variant, if I'm one variant, I would accept that for 5 minutes in a movie. I'll take that,
See?
Marvel.
No harm, no foul.
Yeah.
I'm good with that too because yeah, my thing is
Mhm.
in terms of talking dream jobs,
Mhm.
if DC
Mhm.
animation, if you're watching, and
Speak it
let
into
me
existence.
let me be clear. So I want to get up on the microphone and tell you this.
Mhm.
I have been a fan of the Cape Crusader, the Dark Knight, the world's greatest detective
Mhm.
since I was this big.
Mhm.
And I know that our country and our world is more diverse, and there are many infinite Earths out there.
Mhm.
And I feel on one of these Earths
Say
that
it.
Bruce
Say it.
Wayne is a black man.
Goddamn.
And I feel like, and not Batwing. Shout out to Luke Fox.
Right.
I'm not. I mean, I take that too, but I'm just saying, on one of these infinite worlds, that Bruce Wayne is a black man, a successful billionaire.
Mhm.
Um, he has a black butler, but he refuses to treat him as such. He's just a companion.
Mm.
Um, he's out there, and that Bruce Wayne. I mean, because think about it. I know a brother named Bruce Wayne. If that ain't the blackest name,
Bruce Wayne.
come on,
That's a
bruh.
brother. That's a brother.
So I'm saying to you, DC Animation,
Mhm.
you're Bruce Wayne, the true Dark Knight. He's here. He's here. I'm just saying, The Dark Knight Awakens. I even gave you a title,
There you go.
Black Bruce Wayne. So Marvel, hook him up. DC, I'm ready.
Write it, cast it, book it.
I'm
God
just
damn
saying.
it.
we out here.
We out
We
here.
out here. So, in closing, I like to talk to um my guests about things away from the camera,
Mhm,
away from the microphone. Being that the type of work we do, we spend countless hours isolated, most of the time, um, away from family and friends. But when all of that stuff is now on the back burner,
mhm,
how does the snack daddy himself take time out for him? What do you like to do when you're not wearing many hats?
mhm. I mean, like me, I I'm boring. Like I'll watch a little bit of TV, like me, my wrestling. Like you see my wrestling belts back there, wherever they are, right there. If it's Monday, Friday, or Tuesday, I'm watching some wrestling. I might play a little bass here and there. Of course, me and the wife, we're gonna go out, hang out, watch a movie, eat, cook, do something like that. Or I'm hanging with other family. I'm just chilling. Maybe an odd karaoke session with my friends. And then, of course, I'm currently in a band. Band practice is kind of an outlet too. There's a few things. I guess I'm not too boring, but there's a few things. Yeah.
I think it's good to have outlets.
Hmm.
Like for me, and I just had a session, a Zoom session before this
Hmm.
interview. Um, I'm still experimenting with my music.
Hmm.
Um, I just had the greatest Logic Pro tutorial on earth.
Ah,
And one, I feel good about it, but two, I felt so stupid because I'm like, oh, so if I would have went one more click, I could have found, oh,
yeah.
okay. Excuse me while I bury my head in my pillow and just
Oh no, Logic's a monster. Logic's what I use too on the music side of things. It's a monster. It's a lot going on in that.
yeah, we had a time.
Yeah.
And there's that meme with a guy who goes in his head. That was
Yeah.
me the whole time. I had so many notes. I'm like, you know what? Can we record this Zoom? Because
Hmm.
I'm sure I'm gonna forget excuse me, a lot of stuff, and I want to come back
Yeah.
and get this stuff. But I had a great time. Shout out Steven. If you're watching, thank you, sir, for your time and your patience with this here novice, because your boy was like absorbing junior. I was soaking it up.
You have to. Got to be a
Soaking
sponge.
it up, man.
Got to be a sponge.
Uh, so what's next for Stefan Johnson? What do
Well,
you
I mean,
feel no, I was gonna say, what do you
yeah.
feel, you're doing well in VO.
Hmm.
Uh, you got millions upon millions of folks following you on the socials. Um, what's the next evolution?
Well, I mean, I am venturing more so on the on-camera side of things this year. I said I was going to take that seriously. All last year, I was in school, acting, like on-screen acting classes, studying the Meisner acting technique and improv. Um, because the on-screen things I've done kind of just fell into my lap almost by accident. And this year, I think I am going to pursue it a lot more heavily. Even plan on taking a few trips out to Chicago and LA to pursue a few things, some training here and there. And hopefully by the end of the year, I'll have a few more on screen credits. And then also on the voice acting side, I'm always hustling towards, again, that movie trailer role. You know what I mean? And I might have some open availability for some things that I wasn't able to do last year on the VO side. So I'm hoping to double back and ring the doorbell on a few opportunities I missed last year on the VO side.
Well, that's cool. I feel that the excuse me, the sky is literally the limit for you. I've seen your progress, man, and you out there killing it. So
Well, I mean, it boils down to me trying to be like you, and like
ah,
the guys know. Real talk, like if you guys, I mean, anyone who's watching you knows, like you literally are on like every network. I hear this man's voice every fucking week because I am a wrestling fan, and he's voicing every wrestling spot for every wrestling show I
that is so
watch.
not
And
true.
then it was one time, oh no, bro, last week. So it was me. I was watching like SmackDown, right? And you had just did a promo for like some event coming up, right? And then this pneumonia commercial comes up, Pfizer, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, is that Trey too? Is that
it
Trey
it
motherfucking
was.
Pfizer? Pfizer. I'm
It,
like, bro, like, so this
yeah.
I can't escape his voice, and I'm trying to get to that level. You know what I mean? Like, really.
Yeah. The fine folks at Pfizer, they if you can get residuals, that's all I'm gonna say.
I dig it.
Um,
I dig it.
that campaign started in 21.
Mm,
It's 24. That's all I'll say.
mm.
It's
Goals. Goals,
yeah.
bro. God.
Yeah, man. It's
Yeah.
a lot of good Christmases
No, I
happen
bet.
because of me.
Yeah, bro. Like I'm saying, I can't
You
escape your
know,
voice. That's where I
the
want to be. That's a goal. That's my goal for this year to be the next Tre Mosley. Mosley.
man, so someone else had mentioned they wanted to be the next me. I said, look, it's cool wanting to be the next me, but I would rather you just continue being the first you
I dig. I
because
dig.
you are you.
Yeah.
I used to always say I want to be the next so and so, the next so and so, but as I got further in this business, I'm
Yeah.
like, while it's cool to be the next them, they're here.
Yeah.
I could only be the first and only me, and to hear folks say that they want to be the next me, I accept it. I think it's I'm honored to be considered to be in that tier of people that folks are like, yeah, man, I want to do what you do. I'm like, but bruh, let me I'll trade you. I give you some promos if you give me like just 300,000 followers. You know,
I would make
I'm
that trade.
just saying.
I would make that trade if it was that simple. Easily, bro.
So, you TikTok people, if you're watching this, tell your other friends to jump on and subscribe to this podcast.
Do it.
Y'all asked for him. I got him. He right there. Is that a pick?
Oh yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've had this for about
That's
15
dope.
years. 15 years, yes, sir.
That's cool. So,
Mhm.
other than bass, what else can you play?
I play, of course, guitar, bass. I'm learning keys. I bought that to teach myself keys, even though I touch it like twice a month. Um, yeah, drums. I can keep a few simple beats on the drums, and then of course I sing quite a bit.
There you go. The man is a true Renaissance man. I
I
mean,
try.
music,
I try.
film, TV, VO, and social media. And I heard he can cook a little bit.
A
Jerry,
little bit, just a
Jerry,
little bit, bro.
Jerry.
Next time I'm in Vegas, or if you come up here, if you brave the icy Cleveland, Ohio depths one day, we got to like battle or something because we got to put this to bed. We got to
Oh,
put
for
this to
sure,
bed, bro.
for sure.
We got to like get some briskets out there, even if it's like some dogs and burgers. We got to do something and put this to bed because this beef in the black community needs to stop. We need to stop this black on black hate, and we got to get it done and bury this. We got to bury it.
But you know what? Funny you should mention that because I remember you hit me up because you
Mhm.
saw my charbroil grill. You was like,
Yeah.
dude, I want that. Where is it?
Yep.
And this joker went and got it like the next day.
It was so pretty. The little crank, the raise up bed. I'm like, that's
Yeah,
convenient as shit. I need it. I had to get it. I
it's
got it.
dope. And I remember in our first house back in Florida,
Mhm,
and we barely had a couch and a bed.
mhm.
And my wife was like, I know what you want. The first appliance, if you will, that was in the house, I had a grill.
There you go. As you
And she
should.
was
As you
and she
should.
was like, "Why am I not surprised?" And then, 2 Christmases later, when she surprised me with the Traeger,
Them Traegers.
I was on the phone with Trakina White.
Oh,
On the
nice.
phone with Trakina,
Yeah.
and I'm hearing my wife tell the guy, "Yes, you can bring it to the back on the patio." And I'm like, "We did we buy something?" And she was like, I got you something." So I'm seeing him on the dolly
Mhm.
wheeling by, and I see on the side of the box. I'm like,
You got a good one. You got you a good
"Yeah,
one.
sir." I was in tears. I was like, "Trakina, I gotta call you back." And I had to get off the phone, dude. I was floored that
Oh, man.
she was like, "Well, I know, we've had this grill for a while, and every time you see when you talk about it, you talk about it.
Mhm.
And I just figured, you work hard, you do a lot for this family.
Yeah.
And if I got one thing for you this year, right, for this Christmas, I
Yeah.
was gonna get you that Traeger." And we spent Christmas Eve night.
Mhm.
She helped me put it together. And
Man.
that Christmas Day,
Yeah.
I put four racks on, on that
Good
bad
man.
boy.
Good man. That's
Yes,
what I like to
sir.
hear. Yes, sir.
So yeah. The only one I haven't gotten yet,
Mhm.
I want a green egg.
And I saw someone, it's one of our guys, I think, was it one of the VO guys? They have a green egg, and I see him post about it all the time. And I'm like, nah, I'm interested. You know what I mean? And now
Yeah,
I want one.
I want a green egg, and I
Yeah.
want the black stone because I love hibachi.
I thought about a Blackstone, but I'm like, would I use it enough to justify it? You know what I mean?
And that's the thing, and plus I'm running out of space in the backyard.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
so I don't know, but,
Tough call.
maybe in the next house, if there's a next house,
I
then,
dig it. Yeah.
that'll be, on the thing. But yeah, man,
Yeah.
like I said, I got family up there. If I'm ever, in the Shaker Heights, Cleveland area, I will definitely, be like, "I'm in your town, bruh."
You have to, please. You have to. Let me know.
I got porterhouse in one hand and baby backs in the other.
Oh, bro.
What's happening?
Bro,
And
we're
if
gonna
you
get it
know,
in. We're gonna get it in,
yeah, and
bro.
if you ever get back out here in the desert, for sure, man,
And I will be actually by the end of the year. I was gonna hit you and BZ up because I actually am gonna be out there sometime, probably in the summer, but we'll talk. We'll talk.
okay, for sure. Give the folks, as if they don't know already, but how can they find you on social media?
Folks, you type in S_Johnson_voiceovers on any platform. You will see this ebony mug come up, and I hope to make you laugh. I appreciate you.
I got nothing else, y'all. This has been a treat. One of the baddest brothers out there that's doing it in a major way. And I appreciate you hopping on with me, man. And folks, this has been Stefan Johnson. I am your host, Tre Mosley, and we will see y'all next time. And it's a wrap. Thanks for listening to the Take Time Out with Tre Mosley podcast, part of the Titan Media Network. You can find us on Spotify, Apple, iHeart, or wherever you get your podcasts. To see the video version of this, you can find us on YouTube on the Take Time Out with Tre Mosley YouTube page. Thanks for listening, or thanks for watching. Either way, we'll see you next time.